آمين 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 آمين. The Sheikh is going back to the explanation of the Quran where we stand after asking Allah's refuge from the shaitan and those who died among you and they leave their spouses to do a will to their spouses as a gift till the hawl, and if they leave without going out, if they leave there is no bounty on them if what they did on themselves, and Allah is. Remember, we have another ayah that said the person who died, his wife have to wait 4 months and 10 days. This ayah, those who die now, if they leave, there is no bounty burden on them of what they did to them and goodness, and Allah is Almighty. That the 4 month and then is over ride the other ayah. Unless she is pregnant. If she is pregnant, her period is until she gives birth, because Allah said, and those who are pregnant, their time that they put their babies. And they said that this ayah in the explanation is showing part of registration. The one that the woman that her husband died, she had a will from Allah on advice that she stay in her house. No one can kick her out. And she had the expenses of living there for a whole year. And this was before the other ayat came in. That she had to stay in the past. She used to stay 1 year. When she spent from her, they cannot force her to leave that house, to rush her so they could divide the inheritance. هذا شغال له واحد شغال ايه اوكي شغال. The time for the person is 10 days after 4 months. No one can take her out.
YouTube.
But so the Sheikh is saying there is something that's obligatory 4 months and 10 days. Another period which is an exhaust, not an enjoyment, but it's that she should not be forced out of the house of the household that she stayed with her husband, as if it is obligatory to the 4 month and 10, and the choice is to stay for the rest of the year. So if she left before that, if she gave up that right to stay for the year, there is no burden on her to find another husband, or to, after the 4 month and 10 days that is obligatory by Allah. And also if she is not forced to leave, Allah took the burden both, that after the obligatory part, which is 4 month and 10, and the choice after that is to 7 month and 20 days. If she wants to stay, if she don't want to stay, that's up to her. And it was always said the Sheikh was talking about the nasakh, which is to supersede another ayah, another rule by Allah Azza wa Jal. It is better to combine than to override one of the other. So whenever it is possible, then it is better to bring the two order from Allah too. What does it mean that something supersedes something? Meaning that there's a rule that came up with Allah. We have two orders from Allah that contradict. You cannot combine them. When you the date, the one that came later supersede the one before it. So it takes a law that already existed with something that came later. There is nothing impossible. It is very settled. The Jews, they have a doubt about the superseding of Allah. They said Allah cannot supersede something. He did not override any of his rules. Why? They say because if you override, that's meaning that he has something he did not know what's going to happen. Either they think that Allah did not know something, that he changed his rule. That's how they claim. That's their false claim. Or that he have no wisdom in the way that he is playing. And this is of course no. Because Allah knows what's going to happen. No, but this is Allah, of course, what we reply, that no, Allah knew, but when the woman gave the breastfeed, she gave him the breastfeed him, and then later on she started giving him a little bit of food and breastfeeding until he is capable to take food only. This is normal. There is always stages in the development of a human being. The doctor, when he gives you a medicine, if he found that it's affected, he tell you to stop. He don't want you to continue. So Allah put some rules, and then later on, and so it's not important. It's not impossible that the doctor, whenever he gives a patient something for certain illness, he will sometimes, give him and see the effect on it. Once it's changed, then Allah give him that. And no, Allah Azza wa Jal said that all food was permissible to sons of Israel, and except for what Israel has forbidden on himself before the Torah came in. He said, bring the Torah if you are truthful. The Torah, it came to supersede, to override other laws of Allah. The Torah came after Israel himself, meaning David alayhi salam. He had that desk problem, and he forbidden something on him, and then he had forbidden anything, and the Torah came in and forbid so many things that was not forbidden before. If Allah permitted something, things before, Allah forbid. Allah said, all those who have the Jews, we have forbidden from the camels and the cows. We have forbidden all the fat that was mixed with meat and the bones. And also Allah said that because of transgression and wrongdoing of some of the Jews, Allah has forbidden certain things for them as a punishment for them. And this is in the Torah, in their book. So is the change of the rule because of the change of the situation. Allah takes humanity to different stages, and He makes it flexible where He takes it in different stages. So He brought some laws that is appropriate for each stage, and He changed those rules depending on the stages that He put them in. And then when humanity were matured, Allah Azza wa Jal gave them a general rule that superseded everything, which is Islam. And Ibn Qayyim says that the Jews, they had forbidden that Allah give, that He will change the rules that He have done, but they gave that right to their rabbis, which don't make sense. Like Allah the Almighty, the Knowledgeable, they don't want Him to override certain rule, but they want the rabbis to change. So they have taken their rabbis as lords without Allah and the Messiah of Maryam, and they were only ordered to worship only one God. So they have something forbidden in the Torah. They ask their rabbis until they convince them to make it permissible for them. So that's right, that right of Allah Azza wa Jal, they give it to the creations of Allah. Indeed, the humans are so fool when they give the rights of Allah to a human being like them. Just like when Iblis, he denied prostrate to Adam out of claiming that he is better, than Adam, that he was created from mud and he is from fire. So he refused out of arrogance to prostrate to Adam. He refused to prostrate to Adam, but he accepted that he will do all types of evil. When Allah wants to change in something, no one can hold him back. So that's why when the shaitan see the sons of Adam prostrate, he regret and he stay away. Because when he was ordered to prostrate, he denied Allah and he deserved the hellfire. And whenever the son of Adam prostrate to Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah promised him Jannah. So the nasr is to take one rule over another, override another one, and he could override whatever rule that he puts. And the overriding, it has two different parts. the override of Muhammad's laws of the book of Allah Azza wa Jalla in Islam, override anything else before it. And then the partial one. So the Islam has overrode all the other religion before that. As a lot of scholars said, in acceptance from all of them, he said the whole Ummah of Muhammad ﷺ, they agree that the followers of Muhammad ﷺ overrides all the rules or the religions before it. Meaning that the nasakh in the how, but not on the principles, because monotheism is all in all the books before that, Islam, and Allah has ruled the same, because Allah said, we haven't sent any messenger before you, we inspire to him that there is no God but me, mean Allah, so worship him, follow him, obey him. And the prayers, the fasting, and the zakah is all obligated in all nations. And Isa said, alayhi salam, that Allah ordered him with the prayers and the zakah, which is obligated in all religions. The principle is there, but the difference is in the how. Allah said, oh, who you believe that it is prescribed on you the fasting, just like it was prescribed in those before you. The origins is there, but not on the how. And this is also in the manners. The Prophet ﷺ was sent so he could fulfill the principles of or the pillars of manners. And he used to order his people with the prayers and the zakah. And they said that Allah ordered them with the prayers and with this zakah. This overriding between the religions, but within the religion itself, it is something that is substantial. It was agreed on the majority of the Muslims, and it's different parts. Sometimes the overriding is to have some other law that is the same weight, nor not less nor more. Allah ordered people to go to face Al-Kaaba, just like he ordered them to face Beit al-Maqdis before that. They are equal. Ma'bad says the first thing that was overread when the Prophet ﷺ migrated, the Jews lived, Allah ordered them to face Beit al-Maqdis. So the Jews, they were happy. So he stayed a few months, and he used to like the Qibla of Ibrahim. So he used to make dua, look in the heavens, and Allah's descendant, we have seen the change in your face in the heavens, so we'll give you a destination that you will be happy with. This is of something that is easier. Allah said, oh, the Prophet, they encourage people to fight. 20 could fight 200. And 100 will beat 1,000, because they are disbelievers. Allah has reduced that on you. And He knew that you had weakness. If 100 are patient, they will beat 200. If you have 1,000, they will beat 2,000 with Allah's will. And Allah with those are patient. Of course, this is easier on the before. Also, overriding that you should not eat after Maghrib. After Maghrib, you could sleep with your wife or spouse until before Fajr. If you cannot resist and you slept, one of the companions, he was too tired, so his wife was making him food. He fell asleep. She told him, poor person, no more food for you. So Allah sent permission that it is allowed in the night of the Siyam to have intercourse with your wives. You are garments for each other. And then Allah said after that, eat and drink until it is clear to you the black and white thread. Then stay fasting until night. So the whole night it is a place for eating, drinking, and have intercourse with your wife or spouse. And also the overriding could be on something is higher, like the punishment of zina. Allah said used to keep them in their house until Allah take their lives, or Allah will find a way for them. Allah said those who commit adultery have 4 witnesses. If they testify, they keep them in their houses till death, or Allah find a way for them out. And then Allah said the adulterer and adulterer, whip each one of them and don't have mercy on them if you believe in Allah and the hereafter, and let some of the believers see or witness the punishment. And the rules, if there's someone who's not married, it is 80 wives, and those who are married, it is stoning till death. Also, as I said, in the forbidden of alcohol, which went through stages until it became very clear, general forbidden. It was forbidden at a certain time, like when you're praying, so we know what you're saying. Especially at winter night, it's a long night. And the nights were long, and people used to sober during the night. Until Allah has said, indeed, the alcohol and gambling and the Ansar of Islam, they are evil, from the work of the devil, so stay away from it, so you might be successful. Sometimes the overriding for something different. Like you're supposed to give money in front of the presence of the Prophet. Yeah, Allah said, oh, you believe, if you ask the Prophet, so send a charity with your hand, because everybody wants the Prophet to talk to him silently. So there should be sometimes we could have time. Allah said, to give a charity. If you want the Rasul, you need to pay him a charity and then come and talk to him. And then that was overridden by Allah saying, you are fearful to give something in the sight of your of what you request, a charity. If you don't, then give a charity, pray, and follow Allah and His Messenger, and Allah is more knowledgeable of what you did. Ibn Shari said that Ali said that in the house, in the book of Allah, no one did something before me or after. It says, "Oh, who you believe, if you ask the Prophet ﷺ, then put among your hand a charity." He said it was obligated, then overrode. Allah wants to take the burden on His followers. And He asked them to repent abundance and to give the charity. So this is about the overriding of the law. We go back to Allah saying, those who are dying and they leave husbands or spouses, give them a wasiyah to keep them until the year and no forcing. If they did, there's no burden on you. So Allah is saying there is nothing wrong of what you do with yourself, and goodness, Allah is dignified and wise, and Allah made it obligatory or as a duty on the muhsineen. Some of the people said, well, it is a goodness, it's not obligatory. If I want, I will do, and I don't have to have mut'ah. So Allah said to the divorcee, they have goodness, it is a duty for Allah on the righteous people. But what is obvious is what Ash-Shafi'i used to say, that the mut'ah, it is the duty of every woman. She is not the cause of this divorce. So she deserves a gift to compensate for her broken heart. And no matter what you give them, but you cannot have it all. You don't leave it all. And I have mentioned to you that the civil rules give the divorcee the right of mut'ah, and they measure it by the expenses of 2 years. But they have a condition, that the divorce is not because of her acceptance nor from her side. And the alimony again for the divorcee is the income of 2 years. It could be in installments or payments, and it's measured around 25% of the income of the man. And the child is 20. The second one is 25. The third is 30. The fourth one 35. After that, does not go beyond 40, and there is like a table that has to be prepared. But this is what the rules are. Also, they have what is called the alimony for the woman. We have said 2 years, but in some they take it up to 5 years, unless she get married or she have a new income. That is obvious. And they put about 20% of the income as the alimony that is uh, calculated for her. And during that time, Allah said, for the divorcee, a right for the righteous, it is a duty on the righteous, and Allah is showing you His signs, so you will understand, so you can comprehend. Allah the Almighty is showing us the forbidden and the permissible. And He's telling us, these are the rules of Allah, these are the boundaries of Allah, do not overcome. And whomever try to cross the rules of Allah, the fence of Allah, then he is in danger. Always ask yourself, do you know more than Allah? Allah knows, and you don't know. And remember that when you have a dispute, take it to Allah. Don't you see, for those who claim that they have believed what is on you and what's before you, they want to have their dispute to the taghut, to the evil, to the devil. And you can achieve that, but and they will order to disbelieve in the shaitan. But the shaitan wants to make them astray. And if they were told, come to what Allah and His Messenger had descended, you'll find the hypocrite, they leave you alone. So if the rule of Allah is not possible, like you live outside the Muslim countries, all the rules are different. If there is a dispute, first in the arbitration, like one of the people, he cleared, and he don't want to be abiding with the Shara law. So what do we do? Do you leave that woman alone? No, because he is running away and he's rebellious against Allah's rules. Of course, no. You can say that you come to the civil law when the Islamic alternative does not exist, and sometimes you have a religious entity that is not capable to give you your rights back. So it is okay to use the authorities to fulfill your rights, but if you gain that right, don't take more than what is due. Like someone refused to pay me back when he is supposed to pay you if he is rich, but if he is poor, that's a different, because Allah said if he is in a hardship, wait for an ease. But when he is capable to pay you back and he refused to pay, then you take him to the law, and the authorities, they give you more than what you deserve as late payments and interest and penalty. No, take your right and don't take all that extra stuff. But you could give him the money of the dispute, like the law fees and all the expenses that has to do with the lawsuit, which is the legal one. Anything beyond that, you only have your principal. And anything beyond that, it is a riba usually that is not, you should not take. And Allah Azza wa Jal will punish the rich person who don't pay his debts. So beside the lawyer, is there a Muslim Muhammad? Yes. You cannot go one area without a lawyer who stand next to you. Allah said to the Prophet ﷺ, do not be protecting those who commit treason. And he asked that you ask Allah's forgiveness. He is most forgiven. And do not debate those who are selfish. Allah don't like those who are commit treason and who hide from people but do not hide from Allah when He is with them, where He keeps what He do not allow from the talk. And Allah is surrounding everything with His knowledge. Now you are debating on their behalf in this life. Who is going to debate Allah Azza wa Jal at the Day of Judgment? Is going to be something will be guarded. Who is going to guard them? Again, the rule of the judge does not permit something forbidden, nor vice versa. And the fatwa of the mufti does not make anything that Allah and the Messenger has forbidden as any way that you falsely accuse them. Allah do not go astray and who do not forget. A married person in here, and Allah gave him offspring, and he jump out of the ship and leave it for unknown. That's a treason to the bounty of Allah. I don't know what kind of evil who stay behind their how could they settling don't they know that Allah sees? And when they see the book of Allah, they say, why this book do not leave anything minor or big without counting it? And they found what they have done existing. And Allah do not transgress against Allah. Inshallah, we'll continue on Sunday with Allah Ta'ala or Monday. Subhanallah.